Ian as a weirdo. Today I'm going to be finishing an order and sending, I think, about 3 packages out, and then I am going to start cleaning up my yarn space. I think I've shown it in snippets and videos and stuff, but it's pretty disastrously organized right now, and I need to kind of reframe how I'm organizing my shit right now. So if you want to hang out with me while I do that, we can chit chat and we can get some stuff done. I'm feeling like kind of like a 50%. Okay, it says I have something to do. But it says I have something at 10:30, but what is that? Okay, so I have an appointment at 10:30 with my psychiatrist. So, is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I'll only be on for about 30 minutes and then I'll probably hop back on later. So I um, am just finishing this order, and I'm at the closing up point. So we're just gonna pack this puppy full of polyfill, and then we're gonna close it up. And then I have to do details on both of the packers. This person ordered 2 packers, a 5-inch and a 7-inch. The 7-inch is a medium fill, and the 5-inch is a light fill. So I want to make sure that they know how to properly care for their packer. Um, Obviously, that's really important for me because I don't want this to be like a one time or a couple times use and then they can no longer use it. For me, it's really important to make sure that that people can use the products that I make long term. Um, So I found the key with especially the medium to full packing is to make sure that you kind of overfill the packer, because especially what happens during transit is the package gets thrown around, squished, all of this stuff quite a bit. And I didn't really realize how squished it was getting until one day I had this order that was returned to sender because the address wasn't correct. And and when I got it back, I was like, okay, well, if someone orders this packer, I'll just put that in there because it was unused. It was fresh. Um, so I opened the package, and the packer was pretty flattened. The polyfill had kind of just been like squished down. And so I started packing, which was a good learning experience for me. So I started filling them up more with, uh, with, uh, uh, one second. Okay, So, yeah. But I think as artists, as fiber artists, when we have like a return like that, it make us more aware of like how people receive um, the shit. I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, so we're gonna go back to this, and yeah, just take things as like learning opportunities, and um, you learn from our, you know, just enjoy the learning process. To me, that's been really important. I'm really hoping I have energy after my psychiatrist appointment to uh, keep cleaning, because I so no one's reached out about the the opportunity to help me catalog my yarn, which is fine. I guess I'm gonna just like try to do it myself. But in the past couple months, I've gotten some yarn that I haven't really put anywhere specifically, and I need to have like a better grasp on where my shit is, so that I can more easily access it, categorize it, use it, all that stuff. So I just wanted to kind of make room. There's a little space right by my desk. I have one organizer on this side, and I have another organizer that I'm thinking of putting on the right side of the desk. I think I might have enough space, but I gotta take some measurements to make sure I can move my desk over a little bit. Um, and then, yeah. So as I've said before, I've started to do yarn unders for my decreases, especially at the tip of the packer, because um, I just find that it fills in the gaps a lot better, makes my decreases look a lot better, a lot neater, and it doesn't show as much polyfill um, at the top. So this is a 7-inch trans stripe packer. Once I finish up the tip, I'm going to need to do some details on this one and its sibling right here. This person ordered a 5-inch and a 7-inch, and I'm just finishing up the 7-inch right now, hoping to get that in the mail today, so that this person can, get to using these as soon as possible. Um, Also, I have an order that kind of wants a little bit of a rush delivery, so I'm trying to get to that as soon as possible, while also making sure that I'm prioritizing my goals of organizing and cataloging my yarn, because I really have I have quite a bit of yarn that is just so beautiful, but I don't really get the chance to look at it. If you're wondering what I'm talking about with the cataloging, if you watch my most recent live before this, that I recorded on the 16th of January in 2024, yesterday, you can see that I was looking for someone who could help me um, kind of build an Excel spreadsheet, just with like a line by line listing of what I have. Um, I would pay people for their time, but it would just be in like little snippets. Like maybe I'll take 2 drawers or 2 shelves and be like, okay, we're doing this in this video or whatever. And so I uh, I was looking for someone to pay just so they could get a little extra income and I could, get some peace of mind. But I haven't received any messages yet. So I'm just going to try to do, or at least start it myself and see if I can get anywhere. But for me, that involves like my ADHD brain gets very overwhelmed with like just like the sheer amount of it. It gets really difficult to kind of parse through what I um, what I need to do, and stuff like that. So, um, and like the order in which to do things. Um, so I just finished this round, which is the second to last round. Um, And before I close it up, I'm gonna add a little bit more polyfill. I find doing this, hey Winter, I find doing this right at the end is great to get like a rounded tip. Otherwise it can be just like a little flat, which I don't really like the look of personally. So I like to make sure that it's nice and stuffed in there. So I have an appointment at 10:30. I didn't realize I had an appointment because I didn't write it down because I'm bad at organizing my freaking life. Um, but uh, um, but I will. It's only 30 minutes, and then hopefully I'll be back to start doing, yeah, stuffing packers. Yeah, I should get this one and some of its fellow packers out in the mail today. So I'm just trying to make sure I get this done first before I start cleaning. Um, because, like I said, if I want to start organizing my yarn, I need to try to kind of get an idea. Hey, Kiara. Oh my gosh, it's so cool to see your page. I love seeing what people look like, and putting like a face and like voice to the name. Um, so, uh, so I'm so glad you joined. So glad some friends are here. So yeah, so I'll be I am like I was telling Winter, I uh, didn't realize it's literally as soon as I logged on to like start the video, I was gonna do this like longer video where like we like sat down and I like cleaned and all this shit. But but as soon as I sat down and started the video, I got a notification that I had a doctor's appointment. I was like, wait, shit, what? So I'm pretty bad about keeping track of all of my doctor's appointments. Um, and so sometimes this happens. Executive function is so hard. It is so difficult, and I think that people who aren't neurodivergent aren't always able to like fully grasp how difficult it can be. It's like it's like when you have a computer and like let's say you're trying to like run a game or something and all of a sudden shit starts like glitching out and like your computer just like shuts off. That's what my brain does when I have a lot to do. Um, So, yeah, this is always the part that I find the most annoying. Blue screen of doom. Exactly. Um, I love I use it in like one of my TikToks kind of recently, but like that like Windows like blue screen of death. Yeah, I think it might be death, but yeah, I know that that label is used on like a lot of things, so I don't it could be doom. I don't know. Either way, not a good sign, right? So um so yeah, so we're gonna finish this puppy up. So I um I just finished doing the oh shit, did I bring that hook in there just to leave it in there and not use it? So because I use the Furls Candy Shop hook for my because it was the only Furls that came in a 3.5 millimeter. Um Let me see where my other. So I just a couple weeks ago, maybe like a week, two, I don't know. Um, I ordered a new 3.5 millimeter hook from a maker on Etsy, and let's see. So it says it's arriving January 18th through the 23rd. So it is en route to or awaiting processing in Florida. Okay. um, so it did ship out very quickly. And I can't wait to show you all the hook. What I really liked about this hook, because I feel like a lot of hooks that are handmade or anything on Etsy, they tend to either go towards a like pure inline hook like a Susan Bates or a tapered hook like a boy. And I really like hybrid hooks. Oh, hey, still on leather? That's a cool name. And also kind of hot. I mean, if I'm being honest. um, but uh, so but they shipped it out very quickly, and which I was surprised about. Oh yeah, but a lot of the things when you get like handmade hooks is they make it around an existing solid metal hook, and so typically those hooks are, like I said, either Susan Bates or a boy. And with this hook, it looks like it has like a hook head very similar to a clover, which is a hybrid that kind of leans a little bit more towards boy tapered territory. Um, um, so I was really excited when I found it. It was, I think, fairly reasonably priced, especially for a handmade hook. I want to say it was in like the 20 like maybe 20 to $25 range, which if you buy furls, that's kind of the standard. Um, so I didn't feel like it was like a huge splurge. I've seen some ones way more expensive, look like fingers and such. Those look so cool, but I'm like, could I actually use those, and would my hands just be like killing me by the end of it? So I'm always a little nervous to get the more funky designs. Um, so now I'm going to do the details on this one, and then I'm going to do the details on the other one. But him hurt my hand too much. Exactly. Like there's so many cool like creatives out there that I would love to support, but like I'm just like I don't think I I think the point of getting an ergonomic hook is that it makes your hands feel better, and like you can continue to crochet, for hours on end. And so that's why, even doing like a typical clover, which technically is an ergonomic hook, it has this this rubber handle. It's just, once you get used to the ergonomics of a furls, which fits in your hand so nicely, and the only thing that, if I could change anything about a furls, is that I tend to choke up my hook quite a bit. And it would be nice if it had like a little bit of a thumb hold there, but I know not everybody does that with their hook. So, maybe it wouldn't be reasonable. Um, but uh, but I do really like furls. But the problem, especially with the I'm dreaming. Oh, wow. You are impressive what you can do when you're dreaming. um, I don't really dream, but if I do, they're usually horrifying. um, so I prefer not to dream than to have a bad dream. You know what I mean? But yeah, so we're just gonna finish this thing, and so sorry the title's a little misleading. Um, oh, your chokers too. Yeah, it's. I feel like it would be really nice if they had like a thumb hold, but yeah, it's harder to find the smaller hooks um in a lot of like ergonomic I guess furls, like, I know is more expensive than a lot of people. Dreaming of a furls. Oh yeah. um and they are, I mean, they're pricey, but they do go on sale from time to time. And if you keep an eye out, they launch a bunch of nice colors and stuff like that. um there's definitely more expensive hooks that people have, but um they definitely are on the pricier side. But I feel like if you're paying for a handmade hook, which I believe most furls are, except they're new metal string lines, um, then you kind of get what you pay for. But the resin tends to break when the hook gets too small, because there's just so much tension on the tiny little neck of the on the neck of the hook. And even like 4 millimeters, which is the size that most of them go down to, even those have a tendency to break. Like, I've seen so many broken 4 millimeter furls. People drop them and they just, like, no, the head just shatters. so so yeah. Pony. Oh, I've never heard of that. I'm still using aluminum sticks. Yeah, so I did see this video, this hack, where someone used an oversized beauty blender and they jammed it on like one of their hooks. I think they actually put on a clover, but you can use it on the aluminum. And so it was an oversized beauty blender, and it was a good grip for them. So I tried to order one, and the packaging said one giant uh, blender and then one smaller blender and then two holders. I got the two holders in the smaller one, and I didn't get a big one. And so I need to go to the UPS store to change that. I just hate going out. I'll have to check out Ami, or I don't quite know how to say that, but it sounds interesting. Yeah, with furls, for me, I mean, they create so many beautiful colors. Oh, dollar store Nerf balls. I'm intrigued. I might have to give that a little try. Um, but yeah, I just can't do like a long term. Smaller metal furls. Getting close to Lay's. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be like, take all my money. Take all my money now. I've been debating on, so like, if clover, most people, if they're familiar with clovers, they're familiar with this pack, which has a B, which is a 2.25. Yeah, so the thing about beauty blenders is like the regular size isn't quite big enough. So this person used like a giant one, which was kind of like the size of, it was kind of like the size of a tennis ball, which I've seen other people use. And, but like it was more shaped to the hand and it looked amazing. So I tried to do that and it just wasn't happening. So most people are familiar with this size, which has the B 2.25 to a J, which is a 6 millimeter. But Clover also has a like more lace weight, smaller size set that I've been kind of like, should I do it? Should I not do it? The thing is, I'm addicted to the ergonomics, right? Like, it makes such a huge difference when you're crocheting to be able to comfortably crochet for a long period of time. So I don't know. If honestly, like, I'm gonna have a really hard time restraining myself if Furls goes live with that. Um, I don't watch their YouTube videos. I find them very boring. If I'm being honest, I've tried. Old fucker message you. I think you're depressed because your path is not aligned with your heart. Wait, what? That is ew. You got the tulip set. Pagan shit. Okay, I love that. Also, you're if you like to cuss, you are welcome to cuss here. I have a mouth like a sailor, so I always appreciate someone who has a expansive vocabulary. But if you don't like to cuss, you don't have to do it. You know, it's fine. Um, pressuring you to say bad words like a kid on the playground or whatever. I've really looked in the tulip set. It's a pricier item for sure. Looks great, but the handles don't look much more um, ergonomic than a clover, and I know I like clovers, so I just haven't made the move. Um, so right now I'm putting in the tab. If you haven't seen me make a packer before, which Winter's probably seen me make all 100. Yeah, that's so weird. I've never gotten a message. Hey Lydia, welcome in. Just a heads up, I want to clean today. That's my hope. That's my wish. But I actually have an appointment in like 3 minutes. With like a virtual appointment with my psychiatrist. So so I'm gonna have to step out for a little bit, but I promise I will be back after to try to clean if I can get the energy to do so. Because I don't know, I want to try to divvy up my attention span or my spoons. I really want to try to divvy those up a lot. I hate to dip out on you like this because I really did not expect this. I planned on doing a longer live so that we could just hang out. Um, yeah, Winter, that's I don't know. Like I feel like sometimes like there's some kind of like magnetic force that like pulls all these douchebags to you. I'm so sorry. Like, that's like I just feel like people are allowed to have thoughts about how we live our lives, how we roll up, just like whatever. Oh, you haven't done a live before? They're very fun. When I started doing lives, people like people didn't show up immediately if they're not used to seeing you go live, especially if it's an impromptu live. But because that's the majority of my channel now, people show up when they can. Some lives are better than others. So just a heads up, you might not get a lot of people, or you might get a lot of people, who knows? But just kind of keep that in mind. Don't give up if your first couple lives are like no shows. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna take a break for 30 minutes and then thank you, Leather. I really appreciate that because yeah, mental health is very important, and especially when you have um, chronic mental health issues. Maintenance is key because maintenance keeps you um, makes the lows less low and makes the highs less high. And so I've been diagnosed with bipolar for 17 years now. And I, I'm filing for disability and stuff because um, I'm used to talking to myself. Yeah, that's really what it is. You got to be really comfortable with talking to yourself. Yeah. Um, so I've got some ends to weave in here. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it in time. But by the time you see me next, hopefully I will at least have this packer done, and then I can actually get to cleaning and get to what the title says, because cleaning is what? Shitty and horrible and annoying. But thank you for showing up. I really appreciate it. I'll be back in 30. You don't have to come back if you don't want to, but it would be nice to hang out with all of you. Um, but yeah, so neurodivergence. Yeah! Woo, our brains don't work great. But yeah, so I will be back in a little bit. I really appreciate you coming to hang out with me. And if you want to show up, show up. So I will see you all later, and I'll talk in a little bit. Bye.